Welcome to the College Football X with your hosts, John Nelson and John Wilkerson.
And we begin a series on college football programs that have decided to move up the food chain in college football. And it's a perfect excuse to have my alma mater, Missouri State, on the College Football X after 7 years of doing this. The Bears are moving up from FCS, where they were in the Missouri Valley Conference, to the Conference USA in FBS. And joining us is Corey Riggs, who calls the games for the Missouri State Bears on the Missouri State Sports Properties by Learfield. And Corey, thank you for joining us on the College Football X.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for the invite.
I didn't do too much overkill here, showing where I went to school.
I hope it was already there. I hope you didn't dress it up just for me, John.
No. It's always been there. Big move. I was in Springfield for a week during June. I saw the billboards going to Conference USA. There seems to be some excitement. How did this all go about that it was decided that it was time to make the move to FBS?
Well, it's been a long time in the making. If you look at a couple of different of the hometown newspapers and kind of how they've reported on it, the story goes back to the previous administration. Understand that currently right now at Missouri State University, the university is led by Dr. Richard Biff Williams, who was at Utah Tech. He's starting his second year. Our new athletic director is Patrick Ransdell. He's a year in as well. But neither one of these gentlemen were at the wheel when the decision was made. So our previous administration, Cliff Smart was the university president and Kyle Moats was the athletic director. Going back almost 10 years when Dave Steckel, who was a very successful defensive coordinator, the University of Missouri was the Bears head football coach. Missouri State had been working toward possibly joining the Sun Belt. And then things didn't go well, had kind of, you could call it a dress rehearsal maybe, but a game where, the football program didn't really hit the numbers they needed to and had a rough going. And so that kind of went away, and this went into the weeds for a while. But then Conference USA, who I think everybody understands is kind of that launching point for a lot of really good programs, reached out to Kyle and Cliff, and there was mutual interest there. And, that's with the ever-changing landscape of college sports and the fact that teams are moving league to league, conference to conference on almost an annual basis, that door opened up and Missouri State was ready, willing, and able and wanted to run through it. The opportunity to have FBS football, to be the second FBS football program in the state of Missouri when only the Tigers have been able to lay claim to that, I think was an opportunity too good to pass up. And a lot of people, what they're writing right now says, that window may be closed now for the next couple of years. And there's folks out there that think maybe Delaware and Missouri State may be the last couple in for a while. We'll have to wait and see. But this is definitely a community and a school that is rallying around the thought of making the move up to FBS football and joining Conference USA.
And of course, you mentioned Delaware. They're the dance partner for the Missouri State Bears. And if you watched our season opener, you well aware that my wife, Kathy, is a blue hen. So
Yes.
We're a house divided. So you got to help me out, Corey. I mean, we got to stick together. We got to show the blue hens when we play them.
Hey, the best thing that you got, John, is they didn't end up on the schedule this year. I mean, Missouri State and Delaware don't even play in their first ever year as members of Conference USA.
But there's a standing order here that once they play, we're going to the game, whether it's in Springfield or at Delaware. So we're going to go and tailgate and, of course, trade barbs, I'm sure.
100%. Well, it's
never in a million years
rivalry.
That I think that our alma maters would be conference rivals.
Well, I never thought that we'd join a league that spans 3 time zones.
Exactly.
I mean, Conference USA is a unique creature, but I tell you what, a first-class organization. I was at CUSA Media Day. that was
Mhm.
held at the PGA of America headquarters down in Frisco, Texas.
Oh,
It
wow.
was an amazing event. Got to meet some other coaches, some other media members, just really accommodating. I've already got to know some of the folks from Louisiana Tech, from Liberty, and the other play-by-play announcers and sports information directors, all just really welcoming, really uh, kind of just opening their arms and the doors to welcome Missouri State and Delaware in, and really excited to see how the season unfolds after what's really going to be a murderer's row of 3 weeks to start a season, the likes of which Missouri State has never seen.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute, but it wasn't cheap to join Conference USA. It was around $5 million, and there's going to be some facility upgrades that are going to need to happen. I drove by Plaster Stadium in June. Very impressed. Last time I saw the football stadium, it was still Briggs Stadium, and it was
That's right.
the old configuration. It was right when they finished the double decking of I believe it's the west side.
Yeah.
But there are some deep pockets in the Ozarks, but they're going to have to really get deep in their pockets, aren't they, to maintain this and get those facilities. And then you get the travel costs too.
Well, there's definitely a huge financial component to it, John. First and foremost, let's start by thanking Tom Strong, an alum and an area attorney who wrote the check for $5 million to to get the buy-in, basically, to borrow a poker term, to get Missouri State into Conference USA to where they weren't starting underwater. And having to make payments. So that's taken care of. And that was a huge gift that made a big impact on this move. As far as Plaster Stadium goes, I tell people around here uh, that you're 100% right. Plaster needs work, it needs some TLC.
Hmm.
It's got some upgrades, and a ton of work is going on right now. We'll go through that. But understand this. As of July 1, when Missouri State became members of Conference USA, I will put Great Southern Bank Arena and Hammonds Field up as the top one or two basketball and baseball stadiums in the conference, and it's not even close. I mean, we joined the league and we immediately have two of the three best facilities in the big three of sports in basketball, football, and baseball. As far as Plaster goes, it needs a lot of love, and it's getting a ton of love right now. Already, John, they've put in brand new LED lighting up to ESPN's requirements. They also have to spend multi-millions of dollars to get cables run to build a TV area for those big 18-wheelers, those big TV trucks
Oh,
to
I'm
come
familiar
in
with those.
for those midweek games when we get those Wednesday night games in CUSA that everybody talks about.
I'm very familiar with
That's
those trucks.
that's all getting done. The turf is brand new as of a month or two ago. The suites are getting cosmetic facelifts. The press box is getting new paint, new carpet, new flooring, everything. So a lot of work is already going into it just to get ready for the home opener against SMU. But there's definitely a lot more that will be done, and that's a part of the university and the athletic department's strategic plan for the next 5 years.
All right, Corey. So you brought up a little bit about the schedule and the murderer's row. Never in a million years did I think that Missouri State would scar the turf of the LA Memorial Coliseum. And that's where we open the season. Then go to Marshall, which is a chore, and then host the Mustangs of SMU, who was in the ACC title game and in the playoff last year. So for your home opener, you've got a gem.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a mild understatement. So, if you had told me, I joined the Missouri State radio network 10 years ago as the studio guy, the pregame, halftime, postgame show host, working with the legendary Art Haynes, who you know very well. Art has since retired. I am taking over as of August 30th with the USC game. If you had told me my first game as the voice of the Bears would be inside the LA Coliseum, I would have bet the farm that you were full of it. I can't believe that I am going to get to darken the doors of a historic place and facility like the LA Coliseum, a place that holds 77,500, that has seen 11 national championships won by USC and countless Heisman trophies raised. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a huge task. Too, USC is going to be a very powerful opponent with a really potent offense under Lincoln Riley. That doesn't come as any surprise.
No.
Going to Marshall. Marshall's a whole new coaching staff and a bunch of transfer portal guys, which is kind of the new normal. So, kind of excited to go to Huntington, West Virginia, and kind of see how we do against the Thundering Herd. But SMU, what really makes that story crazy is, one, that they're coming to Springfield.
Yeah.
Two, that they made it all the way into the college football playoff a year ago. And three, that our mutual friend, Art Haynes, is an SMU alum and has waited 44 years to call a game between his adopted school and his actual alma mater. And so Art will be on the mic for Missouri State, SMU, in his final game as the voice of the Bears. And it is going to be a win, lose, or draw. It is going to be a crazy day and a big time celebration.
And this guy will be listening to that while I'm watching the game. It'll be great to hear Art one more time. And you're right. He's legendary, and he's done a lot for you and me and many students at Missouri State over the years who got into the broadcasting business. And but let's move on about this team this year, because everything I've read is that Missouri State is one of those programs that could compete pretty quickly in Conference USA. And I got to think Ryan Beard has really developed that program. It started with Bobby Petrino, obviously.
Yes.
And Beard has kind of taken over. But the advantageous of the Missouri State has of where it's located and having access to talent that maybe a tick or two below the SEC level, because these are places where SEC schools are looking at, but they can look at some of these guys in Arkansas and Tennessee, even in Oklahoma, even in Louisiana. I mean, they're kind of in an advantageous spot as far as recruiting in this league.
Yeah, being in the middle of the U.S. has its benefits, and one of them is the fact that it's not that far of a drive from Southwest Missouri to Texas, and everything starts at football at quarterback. And I will take Jacob Clark up against just about anybody. The Rockwall, Texas native is his 7th-year senior, John. He can flat spin it. He is a prototypical NFL arm, big, strong, 6'5", 220, and just has complete control of Nick Petrino's offense. You mentioned Bobby Petrino. You mentioned Ryan Beard. Don't forget that Bobby's son, Nick, is the offensive coordinator.
Right.
The defensive coordinator is L.D. Scott, just like Ryan Beard, a son-in-law of Bobby Petrino. It is a family business in football at Missouri State. And the top of the coaching staff is elite. They have been at bigger programs with Bobby and with their own other mentors. So they are ready for this challenge, but there's a lot of talent here. Jacob Clark just being one of them. But this is a good area to recruit to. And I think the coaching staff would tell you that the move to CUSA, the move to FBS football, is bringing a different level of athlete to the 417 than maybe Terry Allen was able to recruit in his time here, or maybe Randy Ball was able to recruit in his time here.
Bringing up a lot of names from the past for me. Of course, when I was in school, Jesse Branch was the head coach. And Coach Joe Hanningmeyer was there my freshman year. We're talking to Corey Riggs, who's will be the voice of the Missouri State Bears, talking about Missouri State's move up to Conference USA. And look into your crystal ball a little bit. 5-10 years from now, how do you see the football program developing in that time with this move?
Well, it was 5 or 6 years ago when Bobby Petrino came to Springfield, and that first genesis, that first changeover kind of started. And we went from a team that had been outside of the playoffs for 30 years and hadn't won a Missouri Valley Conference title. And Petrino and his family and his coaches came to town. And within a year, it was a share of the Missouri Valley Conference title, back into the playoffs. This would have been a FCS playoff team last year if they weren't in their transitional year. Yeah. Otherwise, Tennessee Martin or some other school probably wouldn't have been in the FCS playoffs. I kind of see the next 5 years going a little bit like those 5 years with Bobby and then Ryan Beard have gone. Is I fully expect them to get into Conference USA, to get into FBS football, and find a way to elevate their players and elevate this program and be competitive. That's what they want to be. They played in the FCS, and if you don't pay attention to FCS football, I know it's hard to understand, but Missouri Valley Football Conference is the SEC of the FCS.
I say that all the time here in SEC country.
Yeah, it is Alabama, Arkansas. It is that. If you have to play North Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota, UNI, Illinois State, it is a meat grinder. There is no weeks off. There are no weak opponents. Well, no offense, but since Western Illinois was no longer in the league, they were a pretty good bet for a homecoming game for a couple of years.
They served as Vanderbilt, in other words.
That's right. But but this is a team that knows what it takes to play with elite level competition, and a coaching staff that knows how to prepare for elite level competition. And I think 2 or 3 years from now, we will be having a really fun conversation, hopefully you and I, about them getting 6 wins, being bowl eligible, and being in that conversation in Conference USA. I saw something on Twitter the other day. I found it hard to believe. It said there is a statistic out there that says almost 25% of the 136 FBS football programs at one time or another played in Conference USA. Nice. And now Missouri State has added their name to that list, and they are going to try and deliver on the promise that they can get to the postseason again, get to one of those bowl games, because that is a concept that really has Missouri State football fans here in the Ozarks excited, whether it's the Pinstripe Bowl or the Bahamas Bowl or wherever they could land. That's the dream, is getting to one of those holiday bowls and having that sort of college football experience.
Yeah, and I agree with you with all the expectations. I have one more to add, and I want them to be the nemesis of Delaware every year, although I may have to sleep on the couch afterwards.
I want them to be the game that Delaware circles. I want the Bears to be the game that Liberty circles.
Of course.
That Kennesaw
I'm partial.
State,
you got to understand, I'm partial.
Yeah.
Corey, where can we listen to the games?
So the easiest answer for people that aren't in Southwest Missouri is Missouri State is a Learfield school. I'm the director of broadcasting for Missouri State Sports Properties. So the Varsity Network app is a free app. Everybody's got it. Most college football fans already have it. So download that, put that on your phone, and you can find every Missouri State event that's on radio, whether it's football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, whatever you like, on the Varsity Network app is probably the easiest way to find it. But of course, no different than being in the Valley and playing FCS football. Most of our home games will be on ESPN Plus, and got a great crew of announcers that work on those games as well. Really proud of all the local talent that we have involved in the broadcast that are a part of it, whether it's on the radio side or the ESPN side.
Corey, it's always great to catch up with another Missouri State Bear, and I will see you in Kennesaw on November 22nd. I'll have some food set aside for you.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, remember, there's no state like Mo State. We're ready.
I love it. Corey Riggs, thanks for joining us.
The Online Sports Guys would love to hear from you. Go to our X page, formerly known as Twitter, at OSG Sports for a comment, rant, or just whatever is on your mind about college football,